Today's edition of eMigr8 Open Day. It promises to be informative. Today, we will be looking at the general landscape of tech-enabled visa opportunities from all over the world. Unlike other editions of eMigr8 Open Day, where we've focused on specific visa opportunities and drilled down into that opportunity, today is a little different. Today, we will be looking at the general landscape. We'll be looking at what visa opportunities exist in the UK for tech people, what visa opportunities exist in Canada for tech people, what visa opportunities exist in the US for tech people. We will just be looking at the different visa opportunities from different parts of the world. We plan to do this in two parts because today really we will just be looking at the general landscape. But then there will be a second session where we will drill down much further as well sometime in the future. You're welcome to this edition of eMigr8 Open Day. It promises to be insightful. It promises to be informative. It promises to add value to you. What we'll be doing is we'll be talking about tech-enabled visa pathways. At eMigr8, our focus at this point on the platform is on tech-enabled visa pathways. So please bear in mind, there are different visa opportunities from all over the world, but eMigr8 focuses just on tech-enabled opportunities. Focuses on tech-enabled opportunities for relocation and settlement. For beginners in the room, we focus on opportunities where you are able to plan. For experts in the room, you are probably qualified for one or the other of these opportunities we'll be speaking about today. It's going to be a 1-hour session, and there will be time for our open consultation session during today's edition of eMigr8 Open Day. I'll just mention to the audience that this is a recorded session. It's also being live streamed on YouTube. What that means is please do not share anything that you do not want in the public domain in this forum. eMigr8 is not visa advice, neither is it legal advice. Instead, what we do is that we're able to share information based on the experience and also information available to us. We're able to coach you, we're able to handhold you. That is what eMigr8 does. eMigr8 does not offer immigration advice, neither do we offer legal advice. Please bear that in mind. Today's edition of eMigr8 Open Day, our focus is looking at the landscape of tech-enabled visa opportunities from all over the world. That's what we'll be talking about today in eMigr8 Open Day. And just to make sure I'm not speaking to myself, it's been known to happen in the past. Could you pop in the chat if you can hear me? And pop in the chat as well if you can see my screen. You will not be able to unmute yourself yet, but do let us know in the chat if you can hear, and also let us know if you can see the screen. Welcome once more. It's going to be a 1-hour session, and if you wait till the end of this session, we do have a gift for you as well, if you wait till the end of today's session. Fantastic. Welcome to eMigr8 Open Day. eMigr8 focuses on tech-enabled pathway to relocation and settlement. That's what we look at eMigr8. And I'll tell you just a little bit about what eMigr8 is and a few things about what eMigr8 is not. Then we will drill down into the crux of the matter for today's edition, which is the fact that we'll be looking at the general landscape. Once we've done that, we would have time today for our open consultation session. And what that means is that you can come on stage, you can ask questions, you can we can only spotlight you if you have your camera on. Okay, thank you for that. Thanks for that feedback. We can only spotlight you if you have your camera on. Please bear that in mind in this session. Apologies, some technical challenges, just trying to see why that is. So how do you make this disappear? All right, we'll just have to work with that screen. We'll figure it out for the next edition. As I was saying, as regards eMigr8 Open Day, apologies. I think put this there. Yeah, hopefully the screen is better now. As I was saying, as regards what we do at eMigr8 and as regards eMigr8 Open Day, we will be looking at multiple items during today's edition, starting with the introduction of who we are at eMigr8, looking at the visa landscape. As I mentioned, there will be two parts to this visa landscape, but this will be extremely valuable to you. And then there's a lot more that we'll be sharing as well. And if you wait till the end, you'll be getting a bonus because you were part of this edition of eMigr8 Open Day. Previous editions have also held of eMigr8 Open Day. As I explained, this session is going to be an overview session. We've had editions of eMigr8 Open Day focused on the different visa opportunities, many of the ones we'll speak about today. So we've had open days focused on the UK Global Talent Visa, a 1.5 hour session focused on UK Global Talent Visa, focused on the UK Innovator Founder Visa, focused on the Australia Global Talent Visa, a session focused on the US O1 Visa. That's a packed of information, 1.5 hours for that specific visa opportunity. Today's edition, what we are looking at is just a landscape of the different opportunities that are available from the different parts of the world. That's our focus for today. You can find the replay of many of these editions if you go to our YouTube channel, or you can also ask in the community if you're looking for a specific edition and a specific video replay. Many of them are available to you free of charge as a member of the eMigr8 community. Today's edition is all about the visa landscape. We'll have upcoming editions of the eMigr8 Open Day, some that will focus on the UK Innovator Founder Visa, some that will focus on move to the US as a global talent. The visa in question in there is the O1 visa that would lead to EB1 or EB2 visa later on. You've got the Canada Startup Visa, a session focused on that. French Tech Visa as well, a session focused on that. What is eMigr8? What we like to say and how we like to describe ourselves is that we help you become globally attractive. We know many people, you probably join because you're interested in one visa opportunity or the other. But for us, we believe that that visa opportunity itself is a side effect of a bigger objective. The reason is because if you are globally attractive, you will have options. You will have options of staying in your home country and building global value, whether working within your own country or working remotely. You would also have options of moving to different countries of the world who have set up visa opportunities to attract the talents of the world. The countries are not doing you a favor to make these visa opportunities available. The reason they are available is because they know they will benefit from you as an individual. You will pay taxes, you'll be bringing your innovation and your talent, you'll be bringing your family, you would be able to build their economy. That's the reason why they've made these visa opportunities available to you. They understand that talent is the new oil. And that's what we help you to be able to leverage on at eMigr8. To say that these opportunities exist, you as a global talent can make use of this opportunity to move your family for global relevance, for global mobility, and also, who knows, you may be building the next Facebook, the next Uber, and so on, because you are harnessing global opportunities. That's what eMigr8 helps you to do. We've got multiple services that covers different things, starting from information and inspiration to general inquiry to hand-holding to preliminary assessment to do I already qualify? Do I qualify today or would I qualify tomorrow? To having a self-directed roadmap to say, oh, all I need is just, oh, give me a bit of guidance so that I can do this journey myself. Or if you need a little bit of help to say, oh, I need somebody to actually handhold me through the journey, eMigr8 is able to help. An example will be with the UK Global Talent Visa. We're able to help with reviewing your application just before you submit if you need that. We're able to help with an endorsement review process to say, oh, I've submitted my application, I got rejected, why did I get rejected, and so on. And if you need help with endorsement review as well, we're able to help you with that. It gets better. eMigr8 runs a freemium model. What that means is that most of the things that we do, we actually do for free. Yes, we do charge a premium for some things, but many of the things that we do, we actually do for free. Starting with the information and inspiration session, one of them is this session you are on right now, the eMigr8 Open Day, to the eMigr8 community that is available in multiple social media platforms. So we're on WhatsApp, we're on Facebook, we're on LinkedIn, we're on Twitter, and many of our coaches on the platform are on these different platforms where you can ask questions and we are able to answer those questions as well. I'm one of the coaches on the platform. We've got the monthly open day that happens every month. We've got introductory videos that helps you explore specific visa opportunities. We've got the open consultation session, one of the ones we'll be having today, where you can unmute yourself and you can ask questions and we would answer to the best of our ability. We've got visa specific office hours. What this is that it's not a recorded session. It's also not a private session, but it's a closed room where you can ask more targeted questions within to one or two coaches that will be in the room at that point in time. All of these are free, right? You also get short inquiry sessions as well. You are limited to just one private short inquiry session for free. Typical short inquiry sessions are 10 minutes or so. What we usually advise is take advantage of all the other opportunities that are available for free before you use the short inquiry session. So that way you're asking questions that you could not have asked during in the community or during this open day or during an open consultation and so on. So you're making the best use of that opportunity. You would not be wasting the coach's time as well, asking questions that you can easily Google. That's what we advise. But then on the premium side, we've got a number of things that are premium as well, meaning that you pay for them. One of them is the eMigr8 Circle. It's a premium community that takes the eMigr8 community to the next level. Premium community, we've got the personalized coaching sessions, we've got standard package, and we've got eMigr8 Premium and many custom services as well. If you're interested in any one of these opportunities, what you need to do is simply visit bincom.net/eMigr8 and you will be able to fill a form and then you can take your journey forward from there. The link is on the screen, bincom.net/eMigr8. eMigr8 is spelled EMIGR and then the number 8. You'll be able to take the journey forward from there. eMigr8 also has packages that are focused on different opportunities. So we've got the move to the UK as a global talent, focused on the UK global talent visa. Move to the UK as an innovator founder, which is focused on the UK innovator founder visa. Move to the US as a global talent. This is focused on the US O1 visa. And then if you say, oh, that isn't a pathway to settlement, the O1 visa. But if you get the O1 visa, you will typically be able to move into the EB2 visa at the very least. And then there are several others as well, packages that are available within the eMigr8 community. eMigr8 has the community across multiple channels, and then you can see the link on the screen. eMigr8 community is on WhatsApp, it's on Telegram, it's on Facebook, it's on LinkedIn, it's on YouTube, and also on Twitter. And so you can go to any one of these communities and you can take the conversation forward from there. We encourage you to share, we encourage you to like, we encourage you to make comments and ask questions from our coaches in these communities. eMigr8 is a product of Bincom Dev Center, and Bincom Dev Center is a tech talent development platform. In Bincom Dev Center, there are a bunch of other products that we think you may be interested in, and I'll spend a few moments just talking about that before we now drill down into our topic for today, which is around the eMigr8 tech visa landscape for 2023. We'll start with the Bincom Global Tech Program. And this is a program that helps you to learn skills, gain experience, and then gain exposure in the field of technology. If you're a beginner trying to start from scratch to get into the field of tech, this is a fantastic program to join, to start with. It's a program that is 3 months to 1 year to 2 years, depending on what duration that you have. It's packaged for you to go from one stage to the other, and to the other. In addition to that, if you're already at the intermediate stage, meaning you've already learned some skills, but you realize that, oh, I need to build on my experience, this is also a fantastic program for you. You can find that at beacom.net/global tech. And this is talking about the 3-month package of the program where you are able to get tech trainings, you're able to get individual tech career coaching, apprenticeship with UK company reference. So you get reference in your CV, and then several other things as well for that package. If you're an expert in the room, so you're not beginner, you are not intermediate, you're an expert in your field already, we are also calling on you to mentor on the Beacom mentoring platform. You would know that one of the ways you can show yourself as globally attractive, the O1 visa would ask you for it. The Australia Global Talent Visa will ask you for it. The UK Global Talent Visa would ask you for it, is that if you are mentoring, you are able to show yourself as globally attractive. It's one of the index that you can use. And we're saying that, oh, please, we're looking for you to come mentor on the Beacom mentoring platform. We've got a bunch of mentees, hundreds and almost 1,000 of them at the moment, looking to be mentored. And so you can come on that platform and you're able to mentor on the Beacom mentoring platform. Labs by Beacom is to help you build product-led digital technology experience. You build that with a team of 3 to 10 people within a 3 to 6 months program. And what you do within that program is you create a startup from scratch. You create a startup from scratch, and it is good practical experience. You have an opportunity to improve your career. You have something else in your portfolio, and so on as well. Tech career coaching is also available. It's one of our packages. Tech career coaching. And with the tech career coaching, it helps you land your next role faster. It's tech employment and then recruitment service for individuals. What we do is that we help you build the relevant experience in your target country. It's only available in the UK for now, full disclosure. We help you with connection with technical recruiters, and then we help you with jobs that come with work visa sponsorship as well. If you're interested in that, you can find that at beacom.net/tech career coaching. On this slide, you would see a bunch of visa opportunities, but we'll drill down into a number of them today anyway. But you may want to take a screenshot of this slide. Just bear in mind one thing: if you don't take anything away from this session today, take this away, please. All these visa opportunities have one lowest common denominator. And that lowest common denominator is that be globally attractive. If you are globally attractive, you have options. You will have options of different visa opportunities from different parts of the world. I've explained why, because many of these countries are looking for you. They are looking for your skill. They are looking for your experience. They are looking for you as a talent. They are looking for you because they realize that if they have you in their jurisdiction will be better. You will create employment. You will create new jobs, whether you're an employee or an employer. An employer in the sense that if you're using your tech-enabled company or products, which would typically be a startup, it means that as your startup grows, you will grow in terms of number of employees, you will grow in terms of revenue, and so on. And they are not worried that what if you fail? The world realizes that 1 out of 10 startups will be successful, meaning that 9 out of 10 startups will fail. Many of these visa opportunities are available even if your startup fails. Some of the countries, full disclosure, will say go back to your home country if your startup fails, but that's where you should also have a plan. right? Do your very best, but you should also have a plan. But then some of the countries do not mind you staying in their jurisdiction because they know that maybe the next one will be more successful and so on. And we'll talk about some of these opportunities today. But then that's on you being an employer side. The same thing if you end up being an employee or or a talent. They understand that because you're an expert, there will be many lower people with lower levels of skill that have to support your expertise. That is jobs created in their jurisdiction because you are there. And that's the reason why these visa opportunities exist. They are not doing you a favor. And that's where we come in at eMigr8. We handle you, we coach you, we help in terms of helping you see these opportunities, helping you be inspired to apply for these opportunities. Sometimes people hear the word exceptional talent and they immediately discount themselves. They immediately say, oh, no, it's not me they are talking about. Sometimes people read the visa guide and they are like, oh, no, I don't have these things. But then by the time you coach them, by the time you spend the 1 hour with them, they realize, and we have a lot of testimonies for what I'm talking about, they realize that, oh, this thing is not as daunting as they made it sound. Sometimes it's because there's so much information out there, right? And because there's so much information, it's so difficult to be able to read out to say, oh, this is what they are saying, this is what they are saying, this is what I need to do now, and so on. And this is where eMigr8 is available to be able to help. And so yet again, I would just say, welcome to this edition of eMigr8 Open Day. We'll take a quick break, and then when we come back, we will look at the visa landscape in terms of what you should be looking at and in terms of some of the visa opportunities that are available right now that you may want to explore. We've categorized them according to some categories. You will see that shortly. And then we will talk about some of these visa opportunities. So we'll be right back in a moment. We are back. For those just joining us, welcome to this edition of eMigr8 Open Day. We'll focus today on the eMigr8 Tech Visa landscape. That's our focus for today's edition of eMigr8 Open Day. Previous editions of eMigr8 Open Day, we've drilled down on some of these visa opportunities with 1 hour, 1.5 hour videos that you can use to find out more about these visa opportunities. For today, we will speak around the landscape. Before I continue, you would notice that for our conversation today, we will be speaking more to people that already have experience in the field of tech. If you're a beginner, please do not be discouraged. What you should be doing is realize that, oh, this is the answer script and question paper that my profile must meet within the next 1 year, maximum within the next 2 years. We coach a number of people within the Income Dev Center and also within the eMigr8 platform within the next 1 to 2 years. So that's what you should be looking at to say, what are the things I should be doing now so that it will come count for me in 1 year, in 6 months, in 2 years. That's what you should be doing. If you're an expert in the room, many of these opportunities are for you already. You probably already qualify for these opportunities as at this moment. In terms of the visa opportunities, what we try to do in this edition is to categorize the visa opportunities according to why they exist. And these are 5 categories that we will speak about, and we will talk about some visa opportunities in that category, right? One of them are startups. And I sort of touched on it already in the last section, where I was saying that if you are a startup founder, you have an idea that is innovative, that can scale, that is viable, that has investment, whether you are at the early stage of the startup. In some cases, there are some visa opportunities available because you just have an idea. So you don't have to have done anything at all. All you need to do is that have an idea to say, oh, I have an idea I want to try, right? And I have the capability, which is the skill and the expertise to actually try out that idea. I just want to move to a new jurisdiction where my idea would have a better chance of success. There are visa opportunities for you. If you're already at the seed round, meaning that you raised some investment, you already have an MVP, you've already built out something, you have some customers already, there are some visa opportunities available for you. Or if you're already at the expert level, sorry, not expert level in this case, you're already at Series A, your startup is thriving, it's already existing in one jurisdiction, you want to move it to another jurisdiction, there are visa opportunities available. All of those I put inside the bucket to say startup, right? So you will be looking at things like the UK Innovator Founder Visa. You'll be looking at the US employer visa. You'll be looking at a French tech visa, but for employers. You'll be looking at some of those visa opportunities. They are available because you are building something new and you will potentially raise investment, create employment, file for a patent, build out innovation, build out an ecosystem. Those are the kind of reasons why these visa opportunities are available across the world. Then there are categories of those for talents. Now, I separated this for talent and the ones that are work-based, because for talent is that some countries of the world have visa opportunity to say, don't worry about finding a job. Don't worry about looking for an employer that will sponsor you. Don't worry about all of those things, because we know your profile, because we've seen your work, we've seen you as globally attractive. Come to our jurisdiction. When you come to our jurisdiction, you can do anything you like. You can practically anything you like. You can study, you can work, you can be innovative, you can be creative. Whatever it is that you want to do, you can do within our jurisdiction, because they know you pay taxes. They know that you are high income earner. They know that if you focus on something, it will be successful, and they want that in their economy. So you'll be talking about visa opportunities like the UK Global Talent Visa. Is one of those opportunities where you don't need to have attracted any job for you to be able to apply for that visa. You'll be talking about the likes of the Australia Global Talent Visa, though it's actually in a small subset between talent and work-based, because you need to already have a job of some sort, or you need to be able to show how much you're actually earning and all. But you'll be talking about those kinds of visa opportunities. Then we'll talk about the work employment-based visa opportunities. These are the types where you need to land a job in your host country, and then your work will sponsor you. So in the US, there's the H1 visa. In the UK, there's the skilled worker visa. There's the German blue card visa. And there are several visa opportunities like that. The key thing there is that your work, you need to get a job, and then that job will sponsor your visa. For all the visa routes we'll be talking about and we are talking about, these are visa routes where you can move with your family. You can move with your family. And for many of these visa routes, they have a direct pathway to settlement. Some of them, it may be an indirect pathway to settlement. What we mean by that is that for direct pathway to settlement, it means that you don't have to change your visa for you to be able to settle, to get permanent residency, or what we call ILR, indefinite leave to remain in the UK, for example. You wouldn't need to switch your visa. But then an indirect pathway would be that, oh, get this visa first, and then you may move to another visa type after. So for example, in the US, there is the US O1 visa. It is a non-immigrant visa. If you get that visa and you are looking at settling in the US eventually, you would have to switch your visa type. And the natural visa type to switch to is one of the EB visa types at the end of the day, right? Those are available. Formerly in the UK, this has changed now as of April 2023. The UK had the UK Startup Visa, which was did not have a pathway to settlement, similar to the student visa, no pathway to settlement, and then you would have to switch to the UK innovator visa that had a pathway to settlement. So there are the work-based visa opportunities that are available as well. The last category of opportunity, second to the last category we'll talk about, are the visa category where it is temporary. A lot of European countries have what they call the digital nomad visa. You can Google it, digital nomad visa. And a lot of those are temporary to say, oh, come to our jurisdiction, you can come work in Spain, but then you are only working temporarily in Spain, and you are working in Spain, but you are working remotely in other parts of the world. So you are working maybe in America, in the UK, in Australia, in Netherlands, anywhere else, and you have the digital nomad visa that you can use to move to Spain. Many countries in Europe have digital nomad visas, right? A number of them are usually temporary, so it doesn't lead to settlement directly, but it is not a bad visa to move out of your own country, use that visa, and then you may be able to say, oh, fine, from there, I'm going to move elsewhere as well. And then there are others as well. There are some for people that have money. So if you're able to invest, there are some visa opportunities available for you across the world. If you're able to do specific things, there are visa opportunities available for you because you have that talent, because you're able to do that specific thing or skill. And these are just the different categories that we wanted to just switch and speak about, right? Apologies that this table is not complete, but it gives you an example. It just gives you an example of what it is that you should be thinking about, right? In terms of the startup-based visa, and we're talking about the UK Innovator Founder Visa. That's a visa that exists as of today. It has a pathway to settlement, and it's a visa opportunity that you can get. And a visa opportunity that you can get, the UK Innovator Founder, even if your startup has not started at all. In fact, you will not qualify for this visa if you have already registered your startup in the UK. You will not qualify for this visa. And the key criteria for this visa is that you need to have an idea that would be endorsed by the endorsing body, that is endorsed as innovative, viable, and scalable. What you need to bear in mind is that you also now need to prove that you are a genuine founder. You need to prove that you're a genuine founder for you to be able to get this visa opportunity, the UK Innovator Founder Visa. What you need at the end of the day is a business plan. You don't need to have started building your startup, as I even mentioned. Your startup, if you've already registered your company in the UK, it will be difficult to land this visa. If your startup has started in the UK, you would not be able to land this visa. That's the UK Innovator Founder Visa. In the startup category, there's also the Canada Startup Visa. The Canada Startup Visa is a direct pathway to settlement. In fact, while you are processing your PR, your permanent residency, you would be able to get a temporary visa. What you need with the Canada Startup Visa is you need a startup, definitely needs to have started, but a startup that is endorsed by what the Canadian endorsing bodies in Canada as well. For every one of these visa opportunities, please bear in mind that you can Google it. We're hoping that you're using this as an opportunity to say, oh, these are opportunities that are available. Oh, what is it I'm targeting? What am I interested in? What do I already qualify for? What could I qualify for in the near future? That's what we're hoping you would do with this information today. French Tech Visa also exists. I'll go to the next one, the ones around talent. And I explained each of this category earlier to explain how we categorize these. With the talent visas, we're looking at the global talent visa, what is called the Tech Nation visa in the UK. And with that visa type, what you need to show is that you are a leading talent in the field of technology, or you are an emerging talent in the field of technology for the category called the exceptional promise category. You need to be able to show you're a leading talent in the field or you're an emerging talent in the field of technology. And you would be able to do that by showing a number of things. You need to show with the mandatory criteria that you're a leading talent, but then there are some optional criteria where you need to meet 2 or 4 of those optional criteria. You need to show either any 2 of being of innovation, recognition, significant contribution or impact, and then finally academic excellence. One of those 4, you need to pick 2 that you can show, in addition to the mandatory criteria, which is that you are a leading talent in your field. Or if you have less than 5 years of experience, then you may be able to qualify under the exceptional promise category. Under the exceptional promise category, you have to show those same criteria, but you need to show it that you are emerging, that you have the potential of becoming, rather than that you are already a leading talent in your field. The criteria are available online for you to take a look at. The TechNation Visa Guide, we encourage you to read as well. Now, the O1 visa in the US is also similar. To a large extent, if you qualify for the UK Global Talent Visa, you most likely already qualify for the US O1 visa. If you qualify for the UK Global Talent Visa, you most likely already qualify for the US O1 visa. But the US O1 visa is slightly more difficult in terms of the requirements. And to a large extent, you may need a lawyer. We partner with US lawyers, for example, to file a petition for you. That's what it's called when you apply for this particular visa category. But it's also available because of your talent, not necessarily because of the job that you are moving to that jurisdiction to do. Work employment based, we would speak about the UK skilled worker visa and then the US H1 visa. For both of them, you need to show that you're an expert in your field, and then you have to land a job. You need to land a job in that jurisdiction with a recognized employer. The recognized employers are employers that already are able to sponsor your visa. For even larger employers, in addition to sponsoring your visas, they will also pay all the costs for your relocation. With the European Blue Card visa, many of those employers will pay your flight, will pay everything that is needed, including they will pay everything that is needed for you to be able to move to their jurisdiction. That's how much they need you in their jurisdiction. And then there's the digital nomad visa that I've mentioned, and I think I need to pause here. And then there are other visa types as well that are available. Please take a screenshot of this page and take a look at this page later to say, these are different opportunities. Which one are the ones where I want to target as an individual? Which ones are the ones that may be most useful for me as an individual? And that's just to give a quick overview of what that landscape looks like. And then it's up to you to be able to say, oh, this is the visa opportunity that I'm interested in. This is the visa opportunity that I would like to explore. And so a question for the audience would be, what category do you fit in? What category would you fit in at the moment in terms of for visa, tech-enabled visa opportunities? What category would you fit into? Could you please drop it in the chat to say, oh, this category or that category? I'm showing them on the screen. Would it be the startup? Would it be the talent? Would it be about your work skill? Would it be around just temporary work, freelancing? So a lot of freelancers are able to attract the digital nomad visa. And then, or is it the others category? If you're a beginner, what category are you targeting? Could you drop that in the chat as we prepare to start the open consultation session? With the open consultation session, we will not be able to spotlight you if you do not have your camera on. So we will need you to have your camera on so we are able to spotlight you, and then we can have a conversation. Please bear in mind that this is being recorded. Bear in mind that this is being recorded, so don't share anything you don't want in the public domain during the open consultation session. But yeah, for our audience, please drop in the chat what category are you? Is it around talent? Is it around your work or employment base? What kind of category or visas can you target? Should you be targeting? Could you be targeting based on your level of expertise in the field of technology? I'm saying talent or talent and employment base, startup and digital nomad, right? There are more people in the room. We would like to see more. What category would you fall under? What kind of visas should you be looking at? Right. And for everyone that is typing in, you can literally just search on Google as well. You will find other countries you may not have been tracking and targeting to say digital nomad visa Europe, for example. You will see a lot of different examples. Something we're saying to you as a member of the eMigr8 community is that don't say, oh, it is not me they are looking for, because the truth is that they are looking for you. Even if you don't yet qualify right now, you can work your way towards qualification, because all of a sudden, you know exactly what your profile should look like. And that's what we would like to encourage everyone within our community to say, if you're interested in this, you're interested in these specific visa opportunities, do not say, oh, it is not me, because it is actually you. We've gotten a lot of testimonials, and if you watch some of the videos I mentioned earlier, you will find out that a number of people would say things like, oh, when I saw the category, when I saw the requirement, I first closed it, thinking that, oh, it's not me, thinking that, oh, it's not possible, oh, it's not, they're not looking for me, I'm not the one that could get this type of visa or that type of visa. But then I drill down a bit more, a friend asked me to drill down a bit more, a coach asked me to drill down a bit more, and then I realized that, oh, I'm able to actually do this. Oh, I actually have this other document. Oh, I forgot about this conference I attended a couple of years back, and so on. We've seen many of our coaches and many of the people speaking on this platform talking about that. And that's one of the things we want to say to you as our audience today, to say that these opportunities are available. These opportunities exist. These opportunities, they are statistics. The good thing about the West is that they will share their statistics with you publicly. So if you check online, you would also see statistics of how many people in your own country have gotten this specific visa opportunity, for example. And then we also, on the eMigr8 side, we bring people to inspire as well, to say, oh, these opportunities exist and you may be able to get it. And so with that said, if you would like to come on stage, what we would ask you to do is just raise your hand. There's a hand raise feature on Zoom. If you click on the hand raise feature on Zoom, we will be able to spotlight you, but we can't do that if you don't have your video on. So if you would like to come on stage to ask a question, you can do that now, as we're bringing this edition of eMigr8 Open Day to a close. You need to raise your hand on Zoom, but then we need you to have your video on, because we cannot spotlight you if your video is not on. So just raise your hand on Zoom, and then you can switch on your video as well. If you also have questions, you can also ask in the chat, or you can ask in the community, and then we'll be able to answer as many of them in this session as possible. If we are unable to answer during this session, we will be able to answer in the community as well. Yeah, so unfortunately we're unable to spotlight you if you do not have your video on. So what we'll need you to do is to switch on your video. You can cover the camera if you need to, but if you have your video on, we're able to spotlight you, and then you're able to ask your question. Right. So thank you. So I believe that you can unmute yourself now, sir, and then you can ask a question.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
My name is Tola Olabanjo. I'm a software architect and a facility manager. I want to ask concerning the UK innovative visa, do they require a particular capital? Is there a capital requirement, like a standard for investments that you're going to be investing in the country? Or is just because I understand that the endorsement companies are going to be the one to firstly interview you. And so aside from the business plan and the requirement, they also require that you have, like, let's say £50,000 in your account before you can come. Something I just want to be sure, or probably because if it's an idea that is open to angel investment and on the venture capital and on the like. So I need more info on that.
On that. All right, then. So the simple answer is no, you no longer need the £50,000 investment. So there was a former visa called the Innovator Visa. That visa stopped existing in the second quarter of 2023. That visa no longer exists for new applicants. If you are an existing applicant, they will allow you to run through your visa. So they will finally cancel it in 2025 or 2026. But there's a new and better visa route called the Innovator Founder Visa route. What happened is that the UK broke down two visa categories, the Startup Visa and the Innovator Visa. They combined them together and then formed the Innovator Founder Visa route. Now, for that route, it now has a pathway to settlement. You are able to work for other companies as long as you are building your startup at the same time. And then there's no £50,000 investment requirement any longer, right? In addition to that, before now, there were about 60 endorsing bodies, including a number of universities that were endorsing bodies in the UK. That has also changed to say there are only 4 endorsing bodies now. One of those endorsing bodies is a program of the UK called GEP, the Global Entrepreneur Program, is one of the endorsing bodies. In addition to that, there are 3 other endorsing bodies, Innovator International, you see them as Geminos, and 2 others. Now, for all the endorsing bodies, what you would need to show is your idea. Their job is to endorse your idea to say it is innovative, scalable, and viable. That's what the visa guideline says. However, and hopefully you've been listening to me up to this point, even though the £50,000 requirement is no longer there, you need to show how you will fund your startup, at least for the first year or thereabout. And so even though the endorsing bodies no longer have to check, do you have £50,000? Has somebody invested £50,000 in your idea? Or have you spent £50,000 building this solution? Now, what you need to show is that, you have a route to get the funding to run your startup, right? So if what the funding you need in the first year is 17K or 10K or 100K, you need to show to say, this is how I will get the 100K. Right? You also need to show that you're a genuine founder, because one of the reasons why they canceled the old visa opportunity is the fact that a lot of people were getting the visa, but they were not really founders. They were just paying the endorsing bodies and all. And so that's part of the reason why they canceled the old opportunity. So you need to also show that, you're really interested in building this idea. They don't care whether it's going to be successful or it will fail, ultimately. What they care about is that if you have a 1 in 10 chance that this will succeed, then come to our jurisdiction and try. Who knows, you may be building the next Facebook. I'll just also mention that we've done a full open day, I believe in April 2023, focused on this specific visa opportunity. And so you can go to that open day, and we gave a number of insights as well. It took about 1.5 hours talking about this just one visa opportunity. So you may want to watch that as well. Did I answer your question, sir? And then do you have a follow-on question? I can't hear you. You're on mute. You need to unmute yourself. Oh, sorry. Okay, you can unmute yourself now.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm glad to know about that. Now, what about for Canada? I need to get the information as regard Canada startup.
All right, then. So the Canada startup visa is different. So it's on the other spectrum. The Canada startup visa requires that your startup, you've already proven the concept, you've already built an MVP. It'll be very difficult for you to be able to get endorsement from the endorsing bodies. They are called business innovator. You can check it online. The endorsing bodies for Canada, it'll be difficult for you to get the endorsement If you cannot show that, oh, this is something that is already running, it's already doing well in your home country, and then it's something you're looking for a platform to scale. I said difficult, I didn't say impossible, right? But just to mention that it's on the other scale to say you need to show at this point that, oh, it's something that has been working, has been proven, you've done an MVP and things like that. All right, then. Thank you so much. I would give the opportunity to someone else to come on stage. Just to say to the audience as well, this is the open consultation session. You'll be able to ask questions. Don't forget that this is a recorded session. What that means is do not share anything that you do not want in public domain on the open consultation session, because this is being recorded and live streamed to YouTube. But you can raise your hand on Zoom and you can come on stage and then you can ask questions. We would answer to the best of our ability. We would also remind you that this is not legal advice. This is not immigration advice. This is us sharing from our experience, information that we believe will be helpful for you as a member of the community. How are you doing? You're welcome.
Hi, good evening.
Hi, good evening.
Yeah, so my name is Chamaka, and I wanted to know, so I understand if someone is not qualified, you have a pipeline to help get the person ready. I think you mentioned it. So what does that entail? What do you actually do, and how long does it take? And then how does one know if they are qualified or not?
Let me start from the. Sorry. Let me take those questions and you ask more questions, hopefully. Let me start from the last question. How do you know if you are qualified or not? Read the visa category or visa opportunity that you are talking about. You can read the requirement. For Western countries, nothing is hidden. Nothing is even allowed to be hidden because it may be called discrimination. So they are not allowed to hide information. So information has to be in plain sight, right? So how do you know if you are qualified? Read the visa opportunity, read what they say, read what they're asking for, and then you're able to compare that with your profile, or you're able to compare that with your startup to say, oh, fine, this is what they're asking for. This is where I am now, right? Get as much information as possible. There's a lot of resources out there, and eMigr8 in our community as well. We've put out a lot of resources. For the last person I was speaking with, I spoke about a specific visa to say for every visa opportunity that we talk about on this platform, we usually would do an open day, drilling down into that visa category. We'll bring people who are successes or other people who have gotten the visa to say, come share with the community. What did you submit? How did you apply? All of those kind of things. So that's what you want to start with. Invest the time before you invest money. There's a lot of information out there. Second question, maybe the first question was that, what do we do exactly from an eMigr8 perspective to get a beginner to intermediate or get an intermediate to an advanced level where they would qualify for this visa opportunity? We run a talent development platform called Bincom Dev Center. So Bincom Dev Center does many things. It helps with tech-enabled visa opportunity, which is what...
Oh, that's not what I'm asking.
Oh, please go ahead then. What was your question?
Oh, I was thinking you tailor your training to the particular visa, like in this case, the global talent, global promise.
So let me land what I was saying. So we run a tech talent development platform called Bincom Dev Center. And Bincom Dev Center has a bunch of services. It has the Global Tech Program, and I'm coming to that. It's got the eMigr8 program, which has to do with tech-enabled visa opportunities. It's got the mentoring platform. It's got the tech career coaching. It's got the Bincom Academy to help you to learn skills and so on. Now, with the Global Tech Program, it's a well-packaged program to say that we would help you to learn skills, gain experience, and gain exposure in the field of technology. Learning skills is what you have to start with. So if it's PHP development, Python development on data science, project management, service management, and so on, we would be able to start with the learning skills part. But then learning skills, nobody cares about that if you do not have the right experience and the right exposure. And so what the program does is that it's able to build you with the right experience and the right exposure as well. You need to be able to work in enterprise environment, and the program is able to help you to do that. You need to have the right exposure in terms of how would I apply Agile in the real life. Beyond all the theories and all of that, you need to have run teams before, because if you are looking for employment-based visa opportunities, they are available because you are skilled. They are not available because you know theory, right? And so we are able to help with that as well. Then moving on to the eMigr8 platform, we've also then got the eMigr8 Premium package. And what that does is that if you're looking at handholding, to say, oh, this is where my profile is at this point, it may be at stage 0, then you are able to build out your profile over a period of time to qualify for the opportunity. What does that mean in practice? The Global Talent Visa UK, for example, says that, oh, have you spoken with audiences of more than 100 people before, for example? Have you built a startup before? We've got the labs by Bincom to help with that. Have you done several different criteria and several different things are mentioned. And then we've got things like weekly drills, knowledge exchange, and so on to actually handle with you. So you are gradually building public artifacts, which would be able to help you over a period of time to qualify for the visa. It's a 1 to 2 year program if you're starting from stage 0. But if you already have a bunch of experience, if you already have a lot of that, it's able to help you. The final thing not the final thing, but one more thing we do that I'll talk about is then coaching. Because for a number of people, you can do some of these things yourself. What you need is just coaching and holding to say, this month, have you done all the assignment that the coach has given you? This month, have you done this? Have you gotten in the newspaper this month? Because part of the way in which you can show yourself as globally attractive is by being in the newspaper, being sustained in the newspaper. It's not something, oh, by the way, don't go and be in the newspaper today and go and apply tomorrow. It doesn't work like that. You need to build a track record over a period of time. And what we do with the eMigr8 platform is that we are able to handle you step by step to say, these are the things that you need to do for this visa opportunity. We're able to constructively criticize as well to say, this is what we think as at this moment in time in terms of your profile. If you're not doing the things that you need to do, your coach will call you to say, what are you doing? I thought you said you wanted this by this time, stuff like that. So that's how we help. Bincom Dev Center is the talent development platform. Multiple programs, global tech from beginner to intermediate to advanced, eMigr8 coaching for people who are already advanced, are looking at going to the next step, and so on. Did I answer your question? Oh, sorry. Apologies. Did I answer your question?
Yeah. So I was speaking more towards the eMigr8 packages, the hand-holding and coaching. So how long does that take, and where can I get more information about it?
If you just search eMigr8, I feel like we're the only ones using that keyword in the world at the moment. You'll find a bunch of pages and all of that. If you ask in the community as well, join one of the community, WhatsApp community, Telegram, and so on. You can ask questions in that as well. You can also book a private consultation so that we can ask specific questions. So I can answer specifically for you, or one of the other coaches can answer specifically for you. Does that help?
Yeah. Thank you.
All right, then. Thank you. We'll go to the next person. Thank you. Yes, your video is on, though I can't see you, but that's fine. I can spotlight you anyway. You're welcome. How are you doing today? Oh, sorry. Apologies. Yeah, you should be able to unmute now.
Okay, so hello, my name is Prince.
Hi, Prince.
I wanted to ask, how much does it cost? And is there any payments plan? Because some of us, we don't actually have the funds right now.
It's free. Or what do you mean? How much does what cost?
The packages. I know
Is
there's
great packages.
Yes.
Yeah, so we start, what we usually would say is start from free, because for a lot of people, what they would need starts from free. So I'm sharing my screen again, right? For a number of people, what you need is what is already available for free on the platform. And of course, if you then need to pay for something premium, then you need to pay for something premium. But what start from the things that you can get for free. The open days are available. You can ask specific question on this session, for example. The eMigr8 community is available. The open consultation sessions are available. And then you can go to our pricing page if you're interested in any of the paid packages as well. But we would not even let you pay for any paid package if we want to make sure that you need the paid package before you pay for any of the paid packages.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, but there's a pricing page which you will have probably gotten. You can check on the pricing page for the current prices for the different things that are on the premium side. Does that help?
Yes.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Start with free. A bunch of them are free. This session is free, for example, and you can come back with more questions if you want.
Okay.
All right, then. You're welcome again. Unfortunately, Paul, I can't spotlight you if your video is not on. So if you could switch on your video, then I would be able to spotlight you. And then I'll be able to answer questions or all right, fantastic. I see your video, so spotlighting now. All right, you should be able to unmute yourself.
Hi, good evening.
Hi, good evening.
Yeah, nice talk or soft so far. I've really enjoyed it, and that's opened my eyes to a lot of things.
Thank you.
Yeah, actually, the last person that asked question kind of asked the question I wanted to ask, but I need more light shed on it. Now, the financial part, actually, I'm into tech. I'm a full stack web developer. I've been doing mobile app development with Flutter for about 6 months now, but I've been doing full stack web development for more than 7-8 months. I have like lots of softwares online to show for them. I want to immigrate. I want to move. Like, I would like to know the financial implication. How much will it cost me to move to a country like maybe UK or Canada is like my #1 place if I would get that. I want to know price range. If I would have to take up your services, how much would I have to pay you for you to get this to work out for me? And how much would I have to spend on my own to also maybe pay for registrations, I don't know, visa and stuff like that? That's my question.
Unfortunately, I'm not equipped to answer that question, but the good news is you can actually answer that question for yourself, right? In terms of our own services, I think I've covered that already to say our services start from free. 80% of the people on this call only need our free services, right? So just to mention that, so it starts from free, and then there are the paid packages. For the paid packages, coaching and all of that, you can find that on our pricing page as well. Now, in terms of the cost for you to move as well, it could be free to you. You said that you're a Flutter developer with 6 months of experience. You said that you have experience doing other things as well, software development wise.
Yeah.
In Germany, it's more common in Germany and a bunch of European countries, right? But also in the UK, you could find a job that would sponsor you, sponsor your visa, meaning they will pay for your visa and they will pay for your flights. We've spoken with a bunch of people, at least 2 people on this platform that talked about it, right? One person spoke about it from the German blue card visa perspective. Somebody else spoke about it from, there are a bunch of open days and you can find a number of our open days online. So it could start from free. If you're then looking for, how much would it cost if I'm self-sponsoring and all of that, you can check online. There's a lot of resources online for any specific visa opportunity that you are looking for, where they are able to say, this is the cost of the visa application fee, this is the cost of this is the cost of this, and so on. I'm not equipped to answer that question here. And also, you need to also be more specific in terms of which specific visa opportunity are you looking for. So what I would advise is start by doing your own research. Target one visa opportunity, first of all. We had a slide where we spoke about a bunch of visa opportunity. Look at that visa opportunity, read the official guidance. But then in addition to the official guidance, read a lot of other things, watch videos and so on. Those videos will tell you a bunch of things in terms of the information that you are looking for. And then if you need more answers to that question, you can also ask in the community, you can ask in a private session, all of those kind of things. But I feel like this is something you can Google yourself. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, you did. But just, sorry, one last question.
That's fine.
If I want to get the job sponsorship, where do I start looking for this job? Because I've tried platforms like Indeed, and there used to be what's the name of this, Stack Overflow jobs that is no longer on for now. Where do I get opportunities to apply? Like, even let them hear from me, interview me, test me. I've not actually gotten to that point yet, where a company will actually interview me, test me, give me coding challenge, or try to know what I can even do. I've not actually gotten to that point.
So there's something wrong with your profile, sir. I'm sorry to say.
Yeah.
If you are not getting technical recruiters that are sending you messages at least once a week to say, do you want this job or do you want this other job? There's something wrong with your public profile, right? On your LinkedIn alone, you should be getting technical recruiters reaching out to you, right? If that is not happening for you, there's something wrong. Go figure it out, right? And if you want to speak more about that in one of the sessions, you can do that. In addition to, and so this is general because if you're an expert in your field and there's such a huge scarcity of expertise, right? There's a profession called technical recruiters, and their job is to find the right role for the right person. Now, if those technical recruiters are speaking with you and then the problem is, oh, you don't have the visa, the right visa for that environment and all of those kind of things, and the job they have does not have visa sponsorship, that's a different conversation. But if you don't even have anybody looking for you at all, something is wrong with your public profile. You need to fix it. Second thing is that there are a couple of open days I can recommend for you. There's an open day, I facilitated that one, that is titled Landing a Tech Job in the UK Tech Ecosystem. That is also 1.5 hours focused on some tips around landing a tech job. And one of the things we did in that particular open day is that we showed you the fact that there are multiple stages to it, particularly in the UK, which is the model for our tech career coaching service. But then for other jurisdictions as well, there's a model in terms of what stage it is. So the question you need to ask yourself, I'm sharing my screen, hopefully you can see it. A question you need to ask yourself is that what stage are you at this point in time? Are you at the stage where you're getting, just open to new opportunities, but you're not getting those opportunities, which is where you said you were? Or are you actively applying, but nobody is responding to you? Or are you at a stage where when you submit your CV, when you submit your profile, the ATS are bouncing you, meaning that you are not even getting to a real person to speak with you? Or are you at a stage where technical recruiters are speaking with you, but then they don't push you forward any longer? And that means that there's something wrong at that stage, right? Because we'll be looking at those trends. Our tech career coaching service will be looking at those trends. It's a 6-month service, basically, where we are handholding you across it to say, oh, what's going on at this stage. At a stage when you start getting to interview stage, you start recording your interview so that a coach can listen to it with you to say, oh, this is what you said wrong. You shouldn't have said it this way and stuff like that. Those are the kind of things that we can help with, but there are things that you can do yourself. The first thing that you should be able to do yourself is that check what is wrong with your profile if people are not looking for you. I hope that helps out.
Yeah, I will check my profile and know what's up.
All right then. Thank you so much. I think we have time for one more. Prince, you need to have your camera on for us to be able to spotlight you. Okay, I think I have 2 more hands up, so we'll take the last 2. But if you don't have your cameras on, we can't spotlight you. So that's what we need you to do. Switch on your camera, we will be able to spotlight you. Once again, you're at eMigr8 Open Day. Prince, your hand is up. If you want to speak, you need to have your camera on, and then we'll be able to spotlight you. Welcome to this edition of eMigr8 Open Day. All right. It seems okay, Prince is no longer on the call. So we'll be bringing this session. Let me check in the chat, and then if somebody in the eMigr8 team can check the community, if there's any question that we still need to answer in the community. Just to summarize again what it is that we've been sharing today during this session of eMigr8 Open Day. Today, we've been focused on the eMigr8 tech visa landscape. We've been looking at the fact that there are tech-enabled visa opportunities from all over the world available for you as a tech talent. Whether you're at the beginner stage, you're at intermediate, or you are highly advanced stage in the field of technology, there are different visa opportunities available for you. Many of these visa opportunities are in the public domain. You would also find out that different countries are already building more visa opportunities. So the UK just launched their Innovator Founder Visa opportunity in April 2023. Spain also launched a new visa opportunity recently as well. And there are several visa opportunities available. Most of them are not available to you as a beginner, even though as a beginner you can plan. They're available to you because you are a talent. They're available to you because you are skilled. They're available to you because you can create employment. They understand that talent is the new oil. And so they want to make sure that they get the right ones in their jurisdiction and get the right ones that are able to help them to build their economy. What we try to do with the landscape, and there's going to be a whole report that will be available as regards the 2023 visa landscape, and we'll be doing a launching of that report at some point in the future as well, is that we try to map out some of these visa opportunities to your category, to say if you're a startup founder, these are some that you should be looking at. If you are a talent, these are some things you should be looking at. If you are looking at a work-based one where you get a job and the job sponsors you, these are some visa opportunities you should be looking at. And then if you are a freelancer, there are digital nomad visas, particularly in European countries, that you can be looking at as well. All of them have one common denominator. The common denominator is that if you are globally attractive, you have options. I'll say that again. If you are globally attractive, you have options. You have option of staying in your own jurisdiction, your own country, and then working remotely, or working even in your own country as well as an expert in your field. But then you can decide also to say, oh, you want to move to a different jurisdiction for whatever reason. It may be because of family, it may be because of your children, it may be because of better healthcare, whatever reason it is, right? You can move to a new jurisdiction and also add value in that new jurisdiction as an ambassador of your own country, as an expert in your field, as somebody that would add value to that economy, and by extension, add value to the world. The opportunities are there. It is up to you to make sure that, number one, you qualify for that opportunity, meaning that you build your profile to a point when you qualify for the opportunity. But then you also need to make sure that if your profile qualifies for the opportunity, the people that will assess will see immediately that, oh yeah, this is the person we are looking for. We've seen situations and we've helped a number of people with the UK Global Talent, for example. We've helped a number of people who applied, they got rejected, and then they came for a coaching service to say, what was the reason why I got rejected? And we were able to give a couple of pointers and all of those kind of things. And then they did the appeal, they were able to get it, or they did a new application, they were able to get it. And that is, the reason for that is very simple. They did qualify, but then they were not able to package themselves in the way that the assessors will see that they qualified. eMigr8 is also available to help. Many of the things that we do for free, but then we do charge a premium for some services as well. On the free side, we've got the eMigr8 community, and we encourage that you join the eMigr8 community. It's very useful, and we encourage that you also become active in the eMigr8 community. You can actually win some of the freemium or premium services because you're an active member of the eMigr8 community. Also, I mentioned at the beginning of this call that if you waited till the end, you would get something. We had a gift for you. The gift is this. Normally, our short private inquiry calls, you only get one free call as for anybody. You get one, each person gets one free call, 10 minutes to 15 minutes. However, because you've attended this session till the end of the session, you can get a second call for free as well. You simply need to say to the community manager to say, I was at an eMigr8 open day, this particular one, till the end, and then you qualify for a second inquiry session as well for free. How we think that you may be able to use that is that for the first one, once you've done a lot of things, you've done your research, you have some questions, you can come into the coaching session, speak with one of the coaches, get your questions answered. Then you go back again, do more research, do some more work, and so on. And then you can ask the coach more questions again as regards your journey. We are here to help. We want to help. We are happy to help. We would also like feedback. If this has been useful for you, one of the ways you can help us is to share the message. But one of the other ways is also to let us know. Let us know in the community to say, oh, this has been very useful for me. Tell us something that you learned that you didn't know about before. Tell us something that we could have done better. Tell us something that you would like to know about in the future. And this would also help us to say, oh, fine, it would encourage us to keep doing this for free, because what we're doing is we're actually using our time to help the community. But then it would also help us to know, oh, this is where people need more help. This is where people need more help. And we will be able to help with that as well. So with that being said, I would just say thank you so much for this time. Thank you for joining us in this edition of eMigr8 Open Day. I would not close without saying something to 5 categories of our eMigr8 community. First category will be beginners. For beginners in the room, I've said it multiple times, start now. Start building your profile. In building skills, also build experience and exposure. Look at the qualification criteria for whatever visa opportunity. In your case, because you're a beginner, you probably don't qualify for many of them. You qualify for some, don't get me wrong. There are some that you qualify for, but you don't qualify for many. But look at the criteria and be able to plot out your profile to say, in addition to learning skills, I'm also going to be able to start ticking some of these boxes over a period of time. If you are intermediate skill level, you have 4 to 5, 6 years experience in the field of technology, what you should be doing is that start looking at where are my gaps. Is it that I've been so focused on inside my day-to-day employment, I've not been building the community, I've not been mentoring, I've not been focusing on building my public profile, I've not been visible in my field, I've not shown myself as a leader in my field. Look at the gaps based on the different criteria available. Something you may also notice that a lot of these visa criteria, they are very, very, very similar. Some may be focused on one thing than the other. Australia Global Talent may require you to have a degree, whereas the UK Global Talent does not care if you have a degree or you don't have a degree. Yeah, there are differences like that. But at the end of the day, they are very similar. They are all looking for you to show yourself as globally attractive. What are your gaps? Fill those gaps. For the advanced people in the room, what we will say to you is very simple. A lot of these opportunities exist today. They may not exist tomorrow. Some of the opportunities that existed last year do not exist today. Some of the opportunities that existed last year and it was easy for you to qualify, some of them, their requirements are changing, the gates are being tightened more. So whatever it is that you will do it quickly. New opportunities will come out, no doubt, but we're saying that some of the opportunities we are talking about today may no longer exist by that time. So whatever it is that you do quickly, and also don't let imposter syndrome stop you. Don't let imposter syndrome stop you to say, oh, it's not me they are looking for. It is probably you that you are looking for because you are in this session in the first place. For those of us in the different countries of the world without a pathway to settlement, we would also say, look at what it is that you have. We've seen a number of people in the communities moving to the UK as a student, but then they have 10 years of experience in tech. But instead of them using that 10 years of experience in tech to their advantage, what they do is that they are seeing themselves as students, only students. But you have 10 years of experience. You may be able to harness some of those things. Look at some of these requirements based on the things that you have done in the past, not just the things that you are currently doing now. And you never know, you may already qualify. Finally, if you're ready to apply, take a look at the requirements, read them twice. Make sure that you are ticking all the boxes. And of course, if you do need help, we're here at eMigr8 to help as well. But make sure you are ticking all the boxes. Make sure that you use as much information as possible, a lot of it in public domain, but some not in public domain. Ask for help. You never know what information may help at the end of the day. There could be, for many visa types, there's a lot of information out there, and sometimes you need to wade through a lot of noise for you to get the signal. That's part of the reason why eMigr8 is available, and we're available to help, and it starts from free. And that's me speaking to the 5 categories of eMigr8 audience that we've known about and that we are aware of. Hopefully you fall into one or the other of this category. But even if you don't, we can continue the conversation in the eMigr8 community. We are available on WhatsApp, we're available on LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, and we are available in a bunch of social media platforms at the end of the day. Let's continue the conversation there. Thank you for joining us today. We hope that you've gotten value. If you have gotten value today, please pop something in the chat or in the comment section, or if you're watching the replay video, let us know that, oh, you got XYZ from this session today. Pop something in the chat, please. Give us feedback, share it with a friend, share it with somebody around you, and let us know that, oh, this was useful for you. Thank you so much. And we do say, do have a